Solomon stormed into his room and locked the door behind him. His breathing was heavy, his mind racing with thoughts of power and control. So, Baba Aminu wants to turn holy man now? Nonsense! He spat angrily. He paced the room, muttering to himself, Jane thinks she can outsmart me? Never. That woman belongs to me. Everything she owns will be mine. She even refused to buy me and Amos houses. Said I should wait 11 months. 11? Can you imagine? He clenched his fists, biting his lip in fury. No, I won't wait a day longer. Jane must do everything I say. And when I'm done, I'll leave her empty, broken, and useless. He picked up his phone and called Cecilia. Cecilia, it's me. Where does that new barber stay? The one you said is more powerful than Aminu. Cecilia's voice came through softly. His name is Baba Jamin. He doesn't waste time. Once he starts, the person will obey you like a dog. Solomon grinned wickedly. Good. Send me the address. This weekend. I'll visit him. Jane will regret ever crossing me. He dropped the phone and stood by the mirror, adjusting his shirt. Solomon, you are the master planner, the king of strategy. No one can beat you. He chuckled darkly. You think you're smart. Jane, I'll show you who's smarter. Meanwhile, in the quiet village, Annabelle walked back from the land with a pounding heart. The sack on her back felt heavier, not just with soil but with the weight of her secret. She reached the small house where her father, Samuel, was waiting outside, seated on a wooden chair. Papa, she whispered, trying to steady her voice. Samuel looked up from his thoughts, concern on his face. What is it? My daughter. You look like you've seen a ghost. Annabelle dropped the sack gently and brought out the small shining stone she had kept in her hand. Papa, look. Samuel took the stone, his fingers trembling as a golden glow reflected in his eyes. My God, he whispered. Annabelle, what is this? Papa, it's gold, she said, tears brimming in her eyes. Real gold. And there's more on the land Papa left for us. Samuel's eyes widened in disbelief. His hands shook as he held the stone closer. Gold? Are you sure? Yes, Papa, I saw it myself. I dug it out with my own hands. There's plenty more. Samuel fell to his knees, his voice breaking into a sob. Jehovah, God of justice, this is how you fight for the innocent. They mocked us, they humiliated us, but you are faithful. Annabelle knelt and hugged her father tightly. Papa, we are not poor anymore. This is just the beginning. They cried together, tears of joy, tears of relief, tears of victory. That night, Annabelle could barely sleep. She returned to the land early the next morning, careful not to draw attention. She dug more quietly and filled another sack with the shimmering stones. Her mind raced with plans, how to protect this secret, how to turn this blessing into a new life. But deep in her heart, she knew this was more than riches. It was a message from heaven, a reward for faith, for patience, for enduring pain without giving up. As the sun set on the second day, Annabelle stood on the land, gazing at the horizon. This land was my father's gift, she whispered, and now it's my destiny. But far away in the city, Solomon was sitting across from Baba Jamin, his eyes filled with greed and darkness. Baba, Solomon said slowly, I need her to obey me completely. No delays, no excuses. Baba Jamin smiled, his eyes cold and mysterious. It will cost you more than money, he said. Are you ready to pay the price? Solomon nodded without hesitation. I'll pay anything. Jane must never escape my control. What Solomon didn't know was that fate had already shifted. A storm was coming. A storm powered by prayers, justice, and the hidden treasures of a humble land. Staying true. A sign that no matter how dark things got, light would always come. Solomon was desperate. Everything around him was beginning to shake. Jane had refused to buy him and his son a house. Barbara Minu, the old native doctor, had turned him down and even said he had given his life to God. Nothing was going according to plan anymore. But Solomon wasn't ready to give up. Early the next morning, he carried a leather bag and walked quickly to a hidden part of the city, deep inside the outskirts where nobody he knew could see him. He reached the small, dirty hut of the new native doctor that his friend had told him about. Good morning, Baba, he said. The native doctor looked at him from head to toe without saying a word. After a long silence, he asked, "What do you want?" Solomon replied quickly, "Baba, I want my niece gone. Jane, I want her out of the way completely. I want to take over everything. Her house, her company, everything. I want her gone forever." The native doctor's eyes narrowed. "Gone? As in what?" Solomon's voice dropped. "I mean gone. Either she runs mad or she disappears or dies. I don't care. I want her out of my way. Me and my son Amos must take over everything." The native doctor sat still for a moment, then stood up and walked to the back of the room. He brought out a small black pot. "This charm is dangerous," he said slowly. "You must be careful. There are serious consequences. If you do not use it exactly the way I tell you, you will regret it forever." Solomon didn't blink. "I don't care. I've come too far to turn back now." The native doctor sighed. "Very well. Listen to me carefully. You must use it tomorrow morning. You will rub this black powder into your palm. When Jane opens a door and sees your face first, her life will change instantly. Her head will scatter." Solomon smiled. "Very good, Baba. Jane is always the first to wake up and go to work, even before my son. I will definitely be standing in front of her door. She will see me first. That useless, stingy woman." The native doctor raised a finger. "Wait, you must hear this. 2. If someone else sees you first, any other person, the charm will bounce back. And it won't just fail. It will destroy the person who carries it. You might go mad or worse." Solomon waved his hand carelessly. "Don't worry, Baba. I know Jane's routine. She wakes up by 5:30 every day. I will be there by 5. I'll stand and wait. She will see me first. I will make sure of it." The native doctor shook his head slowly. "Greed is dangerous. Man, this charm is not ordinary. I warn you again. There are consequences." He handed him the pot. "Use it carefully. And remember, your eyes must be the first thing she sees in the morning." Solomon left the hut feeling excited. He walked back home quickly. As soon as he got home, he ran to his room, locked the door, and placed the charm on his table. He laughed to himself. "Jane, your end has come. You think I'll wait 11 months for you to settle me? Never. By tomorrow morning, everything you have will be mine." That night, Samuel was in his bedroom. His hands were shaking slightly as he turned the pages of his Bible. He could not sleep. His heart was heavy. His eyes were filled with silent tears. He got down from his bed and knelt beside it. His voice was low but firm. "Lord," he whispered, "please protect my daughter, Jane. I don't know what is happening in the city, but I know my daughter is not herself. Please guide her, open her eyes, deliver her from every evil hand. Let no weapon formed against her prosper." His voice cracked with emotion as he continued, "And Lord Annabel, please guide her, too. That girl has been through so much. She's trying her best. She's trying to rise again. Lord, let that stone she found be real gold. Let it be the beginning of our breakthrough. Father, please let the stone she found be gold. Let it be a blessing from you. Let it bring an end to this poverty, this shame, this suffering. I am only a poor, helpless man. My wife is gone. My name has been dragged in the mud. Jane had turned against me. My brother Solomon destroyed my home. Lord, please hear my cry. Defend me, Lord. Fight for my children. Let your power speak for my family. Let Jane be delivered from every evil charm, every manipulation. Let Annabel be lifted above all those who mocked her. Let my enemies live to see that you never abandoned the innocent." And that night, heaven listened. Jane was asleep. The time was 4:55 a.m. Her alarm was about to ring. She turned slightly on the bed, stretching her arms. Suddenly, a soft voice whispered into her ears. "Don't wake up. Sleep more. You can wake up at 6 o'clock or better still. Don't go to work. You are the boss, remember?" Jane opened her eyes halfway, yawned, and smiled. "That's true," she muttered. "I'm the boss. I can rest a little more." She turned to the other side and went back to sleep. At that exact moment, Solomon stood quietly outside Jane's bedroom door. It was 5 a.m. He held the charm calabash tightly, hidden inside his wrapper. His heart was beating fast, but his eyes were fixed on the door. He whispered to himself, "Yes, just a few more seconds. She will open the door and see my face. Everything will be mine." He smiled. He waited. Minutes passed, but suddenly footsteps came from the corridor behind him. A sleepy voice called out, "Papa, good morning. What are you doing here?" Solomon turned quickly, shocked. "Amos, what are you doing up?" Amos yawned. "I forgot to iron my shirt last night. I want to use a pressing iron before Jane wakes up." Solomon froze. Amos looked down and saw the calabash in his hand. His eyes widened. "Papa, what is that? What are you holding?" Before Solomon could answer, the charm began to shake. It vibrated in his hands like something alive. He screamed and dropped it. The calabash broke open and dark smoke filled the air. Amos screamed too. "What is happening? Papa, what is this?" Suddenly, Jane heard the commotion. She jumped out of bed and ran to the door. As she opened it, she saw her cousin Amos and Solomon screaming, holding their heads. "What are you two evil people doing in my house?" They looked up at her with wild red eyes. Jane stepped back. "What's going on here?" she shouted. "Where's my father? Where's Annabel?" Solomon dropped to his knees, his hands shaking. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Jane," he cried. "It was all me. I lied. I turned you against your father. I made you chase Annabel away. Baba helped me control your mind. I only wanted everything you owned. Forgive me." Amos was crying too. "I only listened to my father. I didn't know it would come to this. I swear I didn't know." Jane's eyes widened as the truth hit her like a thunderbolt. Solomon, still crying, "I just wanted to take Samuel's place. I didn't want him to enjoy your success." Jane stared at them in silence. Then her hands dropped to her sides. "Get out," she said softly. They didn't move. "Get out," she screamed. Suddenly, Solomon and Amos let out loud shouts. They held their heads in pain. "My head, I can't see." They began to run. Jane stepped back, shocked as the two of them dashed out of the house like mad people. Solomon ran into the street barefoot and confused. Amos ran behind him, shouting strange words. Suddenly, a speeding car hit both of them. In seconds, everything went quiet. The two lay still on the road. Gone. Back in the house, Jane was shaking. She walked slowly back into the sitting room and sat down on the floor. She looked around, confused. She called the security man. "Please, what happened here? Where is my sister Annabel?" The security guard looked at her sadly. "Ma, don't you remember anything?" Jane shook her head. "No, I don't." The man sat down beside her and said gently, "Ma, you chased your sister Annabel out of this house. You sacked her from your company. You called her useless. You even slapped her one morning just because she didn't open the gate fast enough." Jane's mouth opened slowly in horror. The guard continued, "You also refused to talk to your real father. You left him in the village alone. You said he was a witch. You brought Solomon here and called him your father. You made his son your manager." Jane shook her head. No. This can't be true." The guard added, "Your friend Anthony came here one day. He told you to settle your sister. He begged you to help her. You insulted him. You called him a gold digger and chased him away. You told him never to insult Papa Solomon again." Jane cried like a child. "Oh God, what have I done? I insulted my own father. I chased my sister away. I called a stranger my father." She held her head and shouted, "Papa, I'm sorry. Annabel, I'm sorry." Jane stood up quickly. "I'm going to the village. I have to go. I have to see my father." She looked up. "God, if my father ever cried because of me, please forgive me. I didn't know. I was blind." Meanwhile, in the capital city, Annabel had completed everything she set out to do. The gold was real, very real. She had quietly sold part of it to trusted gold merchants who helped her confirm its value. What she received was more than enough to change her entire life. Annabel bought a beautiful big house in the heart of the city, a clean, quiet area, the kind of place she used to only dream about. Now it was hers. The first thing she did was go back to the village to take her father, Samuel. "Papa," she said, smiling as she helped him pack his bags, "your suffering is over." Samuel couldn't stop crying. "My daughter, you remembered me. You came back for me." Annabel smiled, hugged him tightly, and said, "How can I ever forget you, Papa? You are my everything." She also told Paul, the kind young man who stood by her father when the world turned against him, "Pack your things. You're coming with us. You are family now." Paul cried, "Thank you, Annabel. I don't even know what to say. I just did what was right." Annabel looked him in the eyes, "And God rewarded you for it." When they got to the city, Annabel gave her father a beautiful car. Later that same day, Annabel asked Paul to be her husband. "I know we haven't known each other for very long," she said, "but you stood by my father when no one else did. That alone tells me everything I need to know. I love you. Paul, will you marry me?" He said yes with tears in his eyes. They had a small but beautiful wedding. Annabel, Samuel, and Paul were now one family, a happy family. Back in the village, Jane had just arrived. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were red from crying all through the journey. She had gone straight to the house where she grew up. She knocked on the door. No one answered. She knocked again. Still no one. She looked around. The house looked abandoned. The windows were closed. The compound was quiet. She sat on the front step, confused. Just then, an old man walking past stopped and looked at her. "Are you looking for someone?" the man asked. Jane stood up quickly. "Yes, sir. Please, I'm looking for my family. My father and sister. They used to live here." The man smiled. "Ah, you must be Jane." Jane was surprised. "Yes, please, sir. Where are they? Are they safe?" The man nodded. "They are safe. In fact, they are more than safe." Jane looked curious. "What do you mean?" The old man smiled again. "Let me tell you." "What happened?" The old man sighed deeply before answering. "Your sister found gold on the land your father gave her. Real gold. Plenty of it." Jane gasped. "What?" "Yes," the man continued slowly. "She sold some of it. Bought a big house in the capital city. Took your father, Samuel, with her. They left this village a few weeks ago. She even married a fine young man named Paul, the same one who stood by Samuel when no one else did." Jane's mouth fell open. She stood frozen in shock. The old man shook his head. "You lost everything because of a lie. Because you forgot where you came from. But thank God your sister didn't." Jane clutched her chest. "Please, do you know where they are? Their address?" The old man shook his head. "No, I don't, but I have something better." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small piece of paper. "This is Annabel's phone number. She gave it to me the last time I saw her. Call her. That's your best chance." He handed the paper to Jane and walked away slowly. Jane held the number tightly in her hand. Her heart was beating fast. Her legs felt weak. She sat back down on the front step and stared at the paper. She whispered, "Oh God, after everything, she still made it." She looked up at the sky. "Papa, Annabel, I'm coming. Just give me one chance to make things right." Later that day, Jane stood at the park in the city, holding the small piece of paper the old man had given her. Her hands were trembling. She pulled out her phone and dialed the number slowly. Her heart pounded as the phone rang once, twice, then a familiar voice answered. "Hello," Annabel said. Jane froze for a second. She had missed that voice so much. She swallowed hard. "Annabel, it's me. Jane." There was silence on the line. Jane spoke quickly. "Please, don't hang up. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm sorry. I was blind. I didn't know what I was doing. Papa, you, Anthony, I hurt all of you. Please, sister, I just want to see you both." Annabel sighed deeply. "Where are you?" "I'm in the city. I just got in." Her voice softened. Then come to Abuja. Come to my house. Papa and I are waiting for you." Jane broke down in tears. "Thank you, Annabel. Thank you so much." That evening, Jane arrived at the gate of a beautiful house in Abuja. She looked around, amazed. It was bigger than anything she had ever seen. As she entered the compound, the front door opened. Annabel stood there in a clean gown, smiling. Behind her stood Samuel, looking calm and graceful in a simple white robe. "Papa," Jane said, tears already rolling down her face. "My child," Samuel said gently, his own eyes wet with tears. Jane ran to him and knelt down. "I'm so sorry. Papa, please forgive me. I don't deserve your love after everything I did. You suffered, and I abandoned you. I let Solomon replace you." Samuel knelt beside her, lifted her face, and smiled softly. "It's not your fault, my child," he said. "You were under something strong. You were not yourself. I forgave you the very day you left me. A father never stops loving his child." Annabel came closer and placed a hand on Jane's shoulder. "We are family," she said warmly. "Family means we forgive each other and grow together." The three of them hugged tightly. Then Paul came out of the kitchen, smiling. "Welcome, sister," he said warmly. Jane stood up, wiping her tears, and looked around. "This house, it's beautiful," she said. Annabel laughed. "It's your house, too. You are my sister." That night, they sat together, talking and laughing as one family. 2 months later, Jane and Anthony got married in a colorful celebration. They lived happily ever after, together with their family. Dear friends, what lessons do you take from this story? Share in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Stay blessed.